Hello everyone and welcome to the video lecture series of mobile application development. Students, in our previous session we have talked about that how we can implement the Google Map in our application. We have seen the implementation of the Google Map by using the empty activity and then adding some permissions over there, adding some code in the manifest file, generating the frame layout over there and map the frame, okay, or I can say the fragment with the particular main activity file. These all things we have already learned that how we can do that. So what about the next? See, in the previous theory session, I talked to you that what do we mean by the geocoding? What do we mean by the reverse geocoding? And what are the services that can be you refer as a location-based services? So students, welcome once again. This is your instructor Janet Shah and I am going to teach you today the all-in-one program for the Google Map. Yes, this program contains each and everything that we need to learn about the basic Google Maps. Number one, what we are going to learn today. So let me show you. See, I'm going to share this document with you. Okay, so do not worry about it. I'm going to provide you this particular practical with the code and what we are going to do that as well. So our aim of the today's project is to develop the all-in-one Google Map activity project. See, this project is going to be implemented by keeping the Google Map activity as our base activity. That means whenever you try to create the new project, I am going to click on the new project and then select Google Map activity instead of the empty activity first. Fine. So here what I'm going to do over there, that I'm just going to select the Google Map activity. So let me just show you that what we are going to do today. Okay, first quickly. So students, mostly I'm going to try to cover all the Google Map concept in this lecture. Number one is, first we are going to learn how we can get the current location. Then I have the two different buttons like apply zoom in and zoom out functionality over there. We are going to implement the geocoding and the reverse geocoding, where the geocoding stands for the get lat long from the addresses and the reverse geocoding stands from the get address from the lat long. It's a vice versa. Fine. Now next, when we talk about the GPS location enabled, so you usually found the various videos on the YouTube that practicals show you that how you can enable the GPS location by opening or setting activity by using the intent. But in this lecture we are going to see a little bit lengthy code, but obviously it is very much important for you to enable the GPS location by asking for the permission to the user, and when the user click on over the OK, then it will automatically turn on the GPS location from your smartphone devices. Fine. Next type of the maps, we are going to see just converting the normal map to satellite and satellite map to the normal map. So in this session we are going to learn about the current location, geocoding, reverse geocoding, Google Map. I can say also all about the what is that, the GPS current location enabling system, and the type of the map as well. So what we get as our output, let me show you first. So students, this is our application screen that we are going to design today itself. See, this screen contains this is the edit text. First, the geocoder example is just a text view, nothing else. We can change it as per our requirements. Okay, this is just a text view. Now this particular text where it is written over that LJIET, this particular text is, just wait for a minute. Okay, so this LJIET text is nothing but it's a edit text box. Fine. So here you just need to write down your address, and then students, you will directly redirected to your location, whatever the address you have entered, and you redirect to the particular lat long by using the geocoding. Now on the other hand, for the reverse geocoding, students, I am going to use a particular image view. So this is an image view. This particular icon is known as the image view, which is used for the reverse geocoding, where I have already set the static lat long of the ISKCON Crossroad Ahmedabad in my program, and then when you try to click over there, you may get the address line 1, address line 2, the country name and the city name. That means from the lat long we try to fetch our address as well. Next, soon as we have this go button, when you try to click on a go button, then the geocoding is applied. This is a type button which is used to convert your normal map to satellite map and satellite map to normal map. And then this is a zoom out button, this is a zoom in button. So here on these two particular buttons we are going to implement the functionality of set on click listener over there and enable doing the zoom in and zoom out in our map. So what about this particular icon? So students, this icon is usually we use for the GPS enabling system. So for that, first we are going to turn off our GPS location and then click on the particular icon. Then we need to see that what is happening over there. Remember, once again in this video we are going to learn that how we can enable the GPS without opening the setting window, or I can say setting activity. Fine. So let me show you some other output as well. See, this is the geocoding example. When you try to click over here, go. This is our satellite map example. Okay, then whenever you try to click over this particular button, this is a GPS enable button. It will ask you for the permission for the GPS. When you click OK, it will redirect you as per your current location. Fine. Now next, when you click on the geocoding example, sorry, we can say the GPS location example. Let me just change from the geocoding to GPS and enable example. Fine. So this is once again it's a GPS enable example. When you try to click on again, so now it will show you that your GPS is on. Okay. So this is how what's all about what today's project aim. Now, when we talk about to open up the project, so first you just need to click on the open your project in the Android Studio. So students, first you just need to open up your project in the Android Studio and then follow the steps that I have already shown you in my previous Google Map API key generation videos. If you do not know that how we can generate the Google Map API, then please see my previous videos, get the knowledge about the generation of the API can implement in our project, and then come back to this particular video. Okay, now steps to go with the Google Map activity as a default activity. So students, usually we in the previous example I took the empty activity as my example. Then I have added some permissions in the manifest file, some classes in the manifest file, map it with our main activity.xml file. Then in the Java file, I just try to write a code, then override the onMapReady method. This all stuff I did, but what happens now? This is a program in which you are going to take the Google Map activity as by default. So do not worry about such types of stuff. You just need to add the API key inside your file, which is known as google_maps_api.xml file. Okay, so you just need to add your API key over there. Then come back to the dependency gradle, where you just need to add two different libraries. Number one is for the Play Store, or I can say the Play Services Maps, and number two is for the Play Locations. So this is the very first service is the Play Services Maps, second one is the Play Services Location. So this location and this particular maps dependency, you just need to add both of them and click on the sync now button after adding them. Fine. Now next, so after the dependency, you just need to add some permissions in your manifest file. So I'm going to use the three different permissions. Number one is the file location, number two is a chorus location, and number three is the internet permission over there. So when we talk about the activity_maps.xml file, so if you know that we have one text view over there, and below of that we get the activity text, or I can say the edit text. Then two buttons are there. One is go button, that is used for the geocoding. One is type button, that is used for the changing the type of the map. Now on the beside of that, I have added one button over there which is known as, or I can say which is used for the reverse geocoding, and the last button is used for the GPS enabling functionality. Fine. Now what next? See, this is just a basic code which I'm going to show you over here. It's all about the linear layout, text view, linear layout, and everything over there. So let me just show you quickly the files from the practical as well. So this is my activity underscore maps.xml file. So what you need to do, you just need to bring out some linear layout over there, give the orientation vertical, and then take a text view which contains a text like geocoder example, then linear layout which contains horizontal orientation, in which I am going to add some edit text, and two buttons are there. One button is going to be used for the type button, or I can say the change the map button, and second button is used for when you try to write something in the edit text button and click on the go, it will redirect it to the Google Map location whatever you have entered in your edit text. This is all about the geocoding process. Okay students, now next, this is a image view which is known as a get name image view. Okay, so this image view is used to get the name from the lat long. That means if we have the lat long, and if we want to find the exact address, then we can find by using the reverse geocoding. Students, this reverse geocoding function can give you the address line 1, address line 2, and the city or country as well. Fine. Now next, what about the image button? So students, image button is used whenever user try to click on the particular image button, then the data, or I can say the GPS is enabled, and it will, if your GPS is not enabled, then it will ask you for the permission that yes, I want to enable the GPS. Okay, so once you click on the OK button, students, the GPS is automatically updated over there. Okay, and this particular button is used to enable GPS only. Now this is all about the fragment. So students, this fragment contains two different things. One is zoom in and second one is zoom out. Why? Because this fragment contains what I can say, it's all about the support map fragment. Okay, so about the support map fragment, students, I have just added the code for the linear layout, and then in the frame layout I have added the particular code like a fragment, then schemas.android.com.apk/result/android. Fine. So this particular support fragment class you just need to add over there inside the fragment as well as inside the Android, like maps.support.fragment. Fine. So maps.supportMapFragment is another class, or I can say another name that you can use, okay, inside our fragment activity. Fine. So now what next? So students, here what I take, see, I just take a button that contains Android text is a zoom in, then the Android gravity is a right, ID is zoom in button, layout margin is N20dp, layout margin is again top 20dp. I took a button also for the zoom out that contains a wrap content, then the text is a zoom out and the ID is zoom out button, Android gravity is right, and give the margin start and margin top. So this is all about our layout XML file. Once again, let me just show one. I just took a linear layout that contains the orientation vertical, one text view that shows a text geocoder example. Inside it, I take another linear layout that orientation is horizontal, in which I just took one edit text, one button, and one image view. This edit text where we are just going to add some text over there and click on this particular go button that will use for the geocoding. This button is used for the type in change of the map. This image view is used for the particular, we can say, the reverse geocoding functionality, and this image button is used to get the GPS button. Then below that we took a frame layout. Inside the frame layout we already have the Google Map. See, this particular frame layout code is already written whenever you try to open up your program or project with the Google Map activity as a default activity. Fine. Now let me show the small code snippet and then show the whole code, so you will get the better idea that how we can implement them. See students, the very first functionality that we want is the geocoding. So to implement the geocoding, what we need, first we need to map our edit text with the particular Java XML file. Then from the edit text we just need to fetch some data. After that we need to apply the geocoding class, generate the lat long for them. This lat long we just need to add a map, and on the particular map we just need to add this lat long. So this is the whole process of the geocoding. So let me show you that how you can do that. Our button name is go button. Fine, our button name is go button. You just need to implement a set on click listener method over there, and inside it here I just call a function which is known as show address. Now let me just call a function which is known as show address. See here what I did, I just get the data from the search edit.getText.toString. So from the edit text I just get the data and store them inside the data string. Now students, we just need to set the addresses. That's why address is a collection of the list addresses. So by default the list address list is null. Now if your data is not null, then what to do? Then we just need to create a class of object of geocoder class. So geocoder is equal to new geocoder this object can be created like geocoder is equal to new geocoder this. Then we just need to fetch the location. So like this, like address list is equal to geocoder.get from location name. Here we have the location name, so we get the data comma 1. It will return the particular size of the data. So get from location name is a method which is called by the geocoder object and store inside the address list. Now we just need to take the very first address. That's why what we are going to do over here, like creating the object of the address, like address is equal to address list.get 0. Then creating a lat long object like lat long new lat long, creating the address.get latitude comma address.get longitude, and then add a marker with a function class like marker options is equal to new marker options dot position lat long title resulted location marker. So whenever we already know that how we can apply the title to the marker, right? So this is all about it, and this is a map.add marker function, and animate camera is the zoom. So students, this is how you can get the location by calling a function show address, in which I have added a functionality for the geocoding as well. Now other small snippet for the zoom out functionality. So this is a zoom out functionality button like zoom out button set on click listener. We just need to call a function zoom out. So I have already defined a zoom out which as a single line is there. Like you just need to call a zoom out button by using the Google Map object like map.animate camera, animate updated camera dot zoom out is a functionality. So same as the zoom out, we can also implement zoom in over there. So I take a function like zoom in. Okay, so call a function zoom in, make a function like map.animate camera update factory dot zoom in. Now next, for the function for the map type, what I did, I just take a type button dot set on the click listener. Then we just need to call a function which is known as map type. Students, this map type functions, what they did, they just compare a Google map with the type normal, then set map type to the satellite type. If it's not the normal, then it will change to the normal type as well. So I just take two different examples. You can convert the map in anyone whatever you want, that's up to you. Now next is all about the reverse geocoding. So whenever user try to click on image, then what to do? So here we first need to create the object of geocoder is new geocoder. Okay, then creating the address list, get from location, passing the particular, instead of location name here we have the get from location is a method, right? So passing the lat long over here, then checking the size of the resulted address list. If it is greater than 0, then set like string country name is equal to address list dot get country name, string address line 2 is equal to address list dot get 0 dot get address line 2. So this is the functions like for the postal code, locality, sub-locality, country name, and address line 1 and address line 2. You can call up all of them, and then I just printed a toast message over here. Okay, so these all 4 buttons are used for normal purpose of the geocoding, reverse geocoding, zoom out button, zoom in button, and type change button. Now, before moving towards the GPS button, let me just show you the code for this particular one. So this is our maps activity file, okay, in which I have added a buttons. Then this is all about the particular image view edit text. Fine. Now what to do next? Next, students, we just need to bind all our functionality over here. Okay, then click on the go button. It will show you the code or show address. I have already explained this all code, that what it works and how it works. This is all about that how can we show the address from the lat long. Okay, now let me just get back to this one. Okay, just wait a minute. So now next, it's a type button method, students. Type button which is used to change the map type. So let me just go to this particular map. So this is a mmap.getMap is equal to Google Map normal, then it will convert to satellite, otherwise it converted vice versa. So this is a Google Map. Inside the below it we have the zoom in button. So functionality is already called like this. See, wait a minute. So zoom in is a function that has a code like mmap.animate camera factory.zoom in, just a method, nothing else. So you can directly see dot zoom, if you want to see like zoom, control space. So zoom in, zoom out, zoom up by, then zoom to, new lat long zoom. This every method is written over there. We just call a method which is known as zoom in. Same as the code we have for the zoom out as well. Now let's move to the code for the GPS connection. It's a lengthy code, so let me show it step by step. So first, for the GPS connection opening, students, you just need to create an object of the location request. So this is the object of the location request that I have created, like location request.create method. Then the location request dot set priority is a location request dot priority higher accuracy. Then location request dot set interval, it's a 5000 millisecond, and location request dot set fastest interval is 3000 millisecond. Fine. Now what to do? You just need to write down such code on above the GPS button, set on click listener, and then call a method which returns a get current location. Now let's move towards a method to the get current location. Now, so here it is. See, this is the get current location method. Students, whenever you try to write over there the get location method, we first need to check whether the GPS is enabled or not. If GPS is not enabled, students, then we just need to force to enable it. Okay, so here I have already created a function to check whether the GPS is enabled or not. If the GPS is enabled, see, for that I just need to create an object of location manager. So location manager is equal to null. Then if the location manager is equal to null, that means location manager is equal to location manager dot we can say the get system services location service. Then if it is enabled, then to check the enable or not, if we also need to call a method like location manager object dot is provider enabled location manager dot GPS provider. If it is provided a GPS, then it returns true, otherwise returns false. Now so here it is, students. First we need to go to the current location method, where we need to check a permission like activity compact.check self permission maps activity.this comma manifest.permission access file location. Access file location is permission granted or not. If it is granted, then students you can move further. So first we need to check whether GPS is enabled or not. I have already told you that how we can check that GPS is enabled or not. Then we just first need to create the location services object like this, like location services dot get fuse location provider client dot request location updates, pass the location request object dot comma new location callable back. If this is implemented, a result like this, see, location services dot get fused location provider client map activity dot remove location updates. Then if the location result is not equal to null and location result dot get location dot size is greater than 0, then we first need to just change the index. Get the index is equal to location request to get locations dot size -1. Then check the latitude and longitude as well. Okay, so how to get the latitude and longitude from the location? So this is the process. This is to fetch the data from the location request dot get locations dot get index dot get latitude, and when you copy and paste this code, just replace the latitude with the longitude. Now the lat long is equal to new lat long latitude comma longitude. Okay, now we just need to set the marker over there, like marker options marker is equal to new marker options dot position dot title. Fine. Now next we can say we just move towards like mmap dot animate camera. So we usually use this after fetching the current location. We just move our camera over there, so zoom in inside the map. So we just need to do that and show the information. So you can, like this, you can just move towards the particular location manager class. IPS is GPS enabled or not. Then you need to call this a main looper. So it's a functionality which is newly implemented after the async task deprecated method inside the Java, or I can say the Android. If it is not enabled, then we just need to call a function which is known as turn on GPS. So turn on GPS function is little bit similarly as the previous one. First we need to set a location setting request dot builder. Builder is equal to new location setting request dot builder. Then enter. Just write down dot add location request is a location request. Then enter dot sets always show true. Now we just need to create a task that returns the location setting response. Result is equal to location services dot get setting client bracket. We can see the get application context. Now the very next we just need to call a method like check location settings builder dot build. Now result, what is result, students? Let me just show you. So result is a particular object of a task location setting response. So whatever the object of task location setting response, we just need to add some complete listener over there. So whenever you get a response, then what to do? You just need to see location setting response is equal to location setting response is equal to task dot get result API exception dot class. Then make text that GPS is enabled. If it is not there, then we cannot say like GPS is enabled. Fine. So now let's move towards the further. It's a get status code. So this all get status code. See, after opening of the GPS, you may get the get status code. For this, you just need to catch the exception like API exception E. Then need to write like this, like E dot get status code is equal to location setting status code dot resolution required. Okay, if the resolution is not required, then let's move towards the if part. Now whenever you try to create the exception, you just need to create the exception E object to the necessary exception classes. So here the exception E object should be converted to the necessary exception classes like we can say the resolvable API exception. Now whenever I try to click on a try button, okay, it will just directly try to write like this, like resolvable API exception dot start resolution for result. Then need to pass like main activity dot this comma 100, and then here what we have, we just need to catch the method over there. If the get status code is setting strange unavailable, that means there is no GPS setting is there in the smartphone, then we just need to show a message like GPS setting is not available. Fine. This is all about the turn on GPS method. Now let me just show you the whole code that which is very much important for our location GPS tracking system. So this is first I have a main activity class. This is automatically created. Private Google Map, it is automatically created. We just need to create edit text, or I can say image view image button. Then location request object is there. Then inside the on create methodology, students, we have just, so students, inside the on create method, first the binding code is already there. because it is already binded by the view binding concept, which is I think I already shown in the JSON parsing as well. Now the next is a support map fragment. Map fragment here r.id.map. It is already written over there because it's a Google Map activity by default which is created. Then I just need to bind such edit, go button, get name, GPS button, zoom in, zoom out, and type button with a particular XML component. On the very next, this is a go button, type button, zoom out button, zoom in button, and get name button. Now, when we talk about the GPS button, first we need to check out the current location. So this is the code for the current location. Okay, then what we need to enable over there, see, this is the code for the current location. Okay, fine. Now next, after turning on the GPS, you need to just write down the else. If the permission is not granted, then it will ask you for the permission of the manifest file. This is the turn on GPS particular code. Is GPS enabled or not? Then this is the activity result, students. If the request code is 100, then result is okay. And then we need to check if the result is okay. Then first we need to check the get current location. That means now GPS is on. If it not, then the GPS is denied the permission. So here it is, students, where I just defined the particular GPU code. So if you can see the 100 over here. See. This is a particular code where we just need to add 100 to check the particular result. Now on the below of that we have the permission result granted or not. So on request permission result method is also there, which you need to call. Okay, so you need to override, check the packet manager permission granted or not, and if GPS is enabled, then get the current location, else just turn on the GPS. On the middle of that we have the on map ready. It's a by default method which is created by the particular understood by itself. So the first location you may get is a Sydney location, and this is a show address message. I think I have already shown you this particular method. Map type, zoom in and zoom out functionality. Now we are just going to run the application and show you the how it works. Let me just run this particular application. So here it is, my application successfully run. Now let me just add something. Let me just show zip C. So students, this is a by default code which is shown as a, we can say as a Sydney location. If you want to see, you can do the zoom in, zoom out. If you do not want to go like see, you can go like this. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. So our zoom in button functionality is working right now. It's a Sydney. Now this is a zoom out button. Okay, so it's also working. Now when you click on the type button, the map is changed from normal to satellite. Again click on the type button. Now it's showing you to the particular satellite or normal map. This is a toast message. So this location is null Bodakdev India 30054. So it shows the particular, we can say when we click on the this icon, it will show you the location of the ISKCON crossroad or around it. Now let me just enter something over here. Let me just enter Kakaria. Wait a minute, Kakaria Lake. So let me just click on the go button and wait for a minute. Let's see, it will just showing you the Kakaria Lake. So now our pointer is moved towards the Kakaria Lake, Siddhivinayak Hospital. See, when you click over here, it will just resulted location marker, right? So let me just zoom in over there more. So okay, so it's a Bappa Sitaram Krishna Pakodi Center near the Kakaria. So our location is automatically fetched like this. Fine. Now this is a geocoding example. This is a okay. Start. Let me just turn off my GPS first. So I'm just off my GPS. Let me click on the GPS button itself now. See, when I click on the GPS button, it will asking me for the GPS current location. No, I do not want to open the location. No thanks. So denied the GPS permission. Pop-up is there. Again click on the GPS. It will ask me for the GPS. Now click on the OK. So now GPS is on. Now it will redirect it to the new location. So here right now I am sitting at the Thaltej crossroad. Okay, so around it, this is my new current location where I have sit right now. Fine. So this is all about the all-in-one program in Google Maps, students. So if you have any doubt, then please feel free to ask me. Thank you so much.